Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show. Today we're gonna be painting.
That's right, folks. Tonight we're going to be painting the Wizkidz Sky Coach. We'll just be doing base coats. I'm actually going to do a little bit of experiment with a wash, but we'll get to that. Why don't you show them? We found the stand for the Sky Coach. I actually really like that stand. It slides on and off real easy and real nice, and it's relatively sturdy. It slides down that up back and forth, and it's actually kind of cool. One piece, clear plastic base.
Yeah.
And
Just don't do that too many times.
yeah, and we're gonna have to be very careful when we paint it, so it doesn't gum up the work, so to speak. But he's gonna be working on what are you gonna be painting? What part of that?
Don't know.
Okay.
Probably just this side. Or
One half.
we always just paint one half.
That's the brass I was telling you about. If you want to use that instead of the gold, look at the colors and then maybe look at the box and see what you think. I'm just going to be working on the odds and
You
ends.
should put them up here.
I'm just going to be working on the odds and ends. Here's the gangplank and the ladders, and I'll also be working on the wings. And I've done one of the wings already. I don't know if you can see that. It's just a watered down oak brown, I believe. And then I used mummy robes for the actual sails because I'm going to hit this thing up right now with the soft tone, just because I think the soft tone is going to change the color of the mummy robes to match more of the sails on the box. And I'm just, this for curiosity's sake. Normally we just do base coats or washes or dry brushes, but I want to get an idea because if this doesn't turn out the way I would like, then I can do some other color on the sails here. But I think that's going to match. Because normally, a wash is supposed to just go into the nooks and crannies, but here, because it's such a close to white color, I wanted to get sort of a parchment color, but I didn't want to mix the paints because sometimes when you mix paints, it's hard to come back to that exact same color, later on, a week from now or something like that. But I think that's going to give kind of a dirtyish cloth color that I'm kind of shooting for. It's really kind of an ugly color. And I could always go back over it with desert yellow to brighten it up a little bit, but I think what do you think? Does that look like the box?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do the other side. And then I'll go back on to, doing what we normally do here, which is just base coats for the first segment of one of our Dragon of the Months videos. Like I was talking about before, I want to get another one of these, maybe even a couple, and I want them all to look, sort of ragtag piratey, not like from some big army or navy or something like that. I want them to be more, the equivalent of, kind of like pirates, but sky pirates or something like that, or ocean bandits. But there you have that. So I'm going to wash this off real quick, and before I get into what else I'm going to be doing, I want to give a shout out to a friend of ours, Al Graham. He makes a wonderful couple of series on Shadows of Brimstone playthroughs. He's got a samurai character, I believe, a Tredaran veteran, and then he's got another party. But Al Graham, that's his YouTube channel name. But he also was kind enough to send us the Shadows of Brimstone Gambler because he picked up the newer plastic version, and we did not have the Gambler. It's one of the few characters we do not have, and I wanted to just give him credit where credit is due. Just out of nowhere, he offered it up on Facebook to, first come, first serve. He sent it out to us, paid the shipping, did everything out of the kindness of his heart, and, deeds like that aren't as common as they used to be, and we're going to try and you know pay it forward, so to speak, this year, because we've had a lot of people reach out to us one way or another and send us something nice. You saw last week, that was just, I'm still flying high on that. But Al, thank you very much. I cannot wait to play the Gambler. I was reading about it, and it seems like a really interesting character. I don't know if we're going to have to arm wrestle to see who gets to play the Gambler,
No.
him or me. But thanks again, and let's get back to painting. Let's see how the little guy's doing. Yeah, that looks really good.
It's good.
The brass.
Yeah.
Vallejo brass. Just brass. Yeah. It's weird because I don't have, and I don't think Army Painter makes a brass. Otherwise, might be going with that, or I'd pick up a Reaper version. But I've always had good experiences with this particular color of brass, and I'm gonna be honest. Brass and gold, they kind of, if you put them on a splotch test and I had to tell you which was which, I probably couldn't. How about you, bud?
It's looking decent.
No, I mean, can you tell the difference between? Can you tell the difference between brass and gold? Not really.
Usually gold is a bit. It's a subtle difference, but it.
Okay.
I feel like you could probably tell the difference.
Yeah, I could. I may be able to, mix up a color every now and then and get that right, but brass, gold, no, they're the same to me. It might as well be.
All right, I'll try to prove that.
Okay. Now I'm going to take some oak brown and I'm going to finish up the spines on these wings. I'm waiting for the rope and the other attachments and things like that on these wings because it's going to be a dry brush thing, and that'll give me something to do next weekend. Speaking of weekends, I hope you guys had a great one. We had a lot of fun this weekend. Little guy got to do one of his side projects.
Even though we're probably going to redo it.
Even though, it wasn't my idea or anything like that, I had a lot of fun helping him out. And maybe one of these days we'll be brave enough to share that with you. But
I feel like it's better in knowing if people figure it out themselves.
Yeah, it's kind of like I don't know how to explain it, but, it's something he's been working on for a while. And then, I did a little bit of shopping yesterday. I had a little bit more luck. Found a few things I was looking for because, it's getting hard to find stuff out there these days. Still no Final Faction.
Even though we found one of the Final Faction pieces in the floor.
Oh, yeah, that's a funny story we'll get to in just a second. Sage Forsaken offered to help me out getting some Final Faction Wave 2, and I'm going to take you up on that this week if I can. Just got to figure out a way to...
Can't reach it.
Oh, you want a different brush?
No, I got some on the...
Don't worry about it. We can just hit that up with a brown wash later. Sage, if you want to get back to me about that, we still in our area have not seen Wave 2 of Final Faction, and I actually heard Wave 2B or something like that is starting to rear its head in places like Florida, so you guys are very lucky. I can't wait to see some of those things. But like the little guy's saying, we went to the swap meet today, and it's the first time we've been to this swap meet in like 10 years. And we had a lot of fun, and yesterday I picked up, what character is that? Do you remember that I picked up?
I don't know. The one with the wings.
Yeah, the character that comes with the double set, the full set of wings on his back. I picked that one up because I planned on using those wings, and I didn't want to open the one that I have for a collection, for posterity's sake, just to say you have them when they finally, aren't everywhere. But I picked it up just for the wings, and then walking through the swap meet today, I looked down on the ground and I found a pair of the wings. It was kind of weird, I just bought the action figure just for that one thing, just the wings, and then I looked down on the ground and sure enough, there's a pair of the wings. They're a little scratched up, which is okay. I didn't really mind that, but now I'll have two sets of wings, and that might actually be kind of a bonus, not just because we have an extra set of wings, but it might make the project that much better. So, but yeah, we had a lot of fun today. 2 hours of walking around. like I told little guys, the most exercise I've gotten in a year. So I wasn't the only one who needed a nap after the swap meet. Not the little guy though. He just went and read. Were you reading all afternoon, or were you watching videos?
I'm reading.
I'm proud of him. He finally started picking up a book instead of a tablet. I actually overdid it the other day. I got those books from George from Emperor's Choice, and I stayed up late till like 2 o'clock in the morning reading those books. I just couldn't put them down. And then as Tenkaro Test 2, I woke up with a really, really bad headache, and they were nice enough to help me with some ideas how to get rid of the headache without taking aspirin, because aspirin kind of messes up my stomach.
I'll do the other side.
You gonna?
Yeah, I have all extra paint.
Check him out. He's ambitious today.
And I'm not gonna waste all this.
That's my boy. Okay, there's that gangplank. The other half. I'll do the stairs. You want to show off what you've done so far?
Yeah.
And the reason we're only doing the brass tonight is one, so that he can cover up any brass mistakes with the wood color, and because I wasn't sure if he was going to hold it by the handle or use the hull as a way to hold onto the ship. I guess the handle is the best way to go.
Yeah.
I noticed that when I water down this paint, it gets kind of like, turns into almost a gloss. I don't know if you guys have ever had that happen. Maybe you could throw it in the comments section why that happens. But I like the way it goes down into the cracks and everything a lot easier. It is Army Painter paint, so that's, you almost always have to water down Army Painter paints. Except the metallics. I would never recommend watering down the metallics. But I also learned a new trick today too. When you're painting with metallics, Sport, you need to, or you should, have a separate water cup to clean that brush with than the cup you use for your other brushes, so to speak. Like if you're using metallics and something else, you don't want to rinse off your brushes in the same cup, because I think the metallic flakes will transfer through the water onto your brush, which I never even thought of before, but someone said that on Facebook, and if you happen to be one of our viewers, go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back. We appreciate you helping us out with, any tips we learn, we want to share with you guys. Okay, now I can go back to the wings, because this stuff is going to take forever to dry. Despite what Vince says, I don't find that paint's dry within 30 seconds. Maybe he lives in Arizona and that's the case, but for us, no. Now I'm just going to go with the mummy robes so I can get these things done, and then I'll go back to the brown since I used up all the brown. And I'm actually not going to water this stuff down. I think this is actually the first time I've ever used mummy robes.
Really?
I think so, yeah. I can tell because the bottle's like totally full, and I can't
It's one of the original?
Yeah, and I can't think of a single instance where I've used mummy robes.
I mean, I've used it, but...
Really?
But yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's not completely empty.
And I've never had to buy a second bottle of it. I know that for sure.
How many paints is you're still on your first paint?
Oh, there's a lot of colors I've never used. A lot.
Yeah, a lot of the...
Pinks and...
Yeah.
Some of the blues, some of the browns, a lot of the flesh colors I've never used. Maybe other than the paint test, even some of the metallic colors from the metallic colored paint set from Army Painter, which is kind of surprising. But then again, if you watch that video, we weren't thrilled with all the colors,
Not all of them.
especially that pink. I can't think of a single time where I'm going to need hot metallic magenta pink.
I can think of one possible thing, but the problem is it doesn't exist. If you know, you don't, because it's only like 3 people that actually know.
Yeah.
But
this is like, I only got to actually paint like one time this week.
really,
Yeah.
thought you did more.
No, I've been working on the Star Schlock miniatures. That's like the only thing I've been painting other than, for the channel. And I've been doing so much reading and other things that I just haven't come up here to paint. And I just realized just a second ago how much I miss that. I really need to make it a regular habit. Right after dinner, just shoot up here, just paint for an hour, even if it's just an hour. And this is actually, these wings are actually going to take a bit of... Sir barks a lot. That's not his name, but... Chewy. Knock it off. He heard somebody walk by our house, so he has to tell them that he doesn't approve, even though they're downstairs, outside, on the side of the street where they can't possibly hear us. Oh, they don't watch out. But he thinks they actually are listening to him.
Even though we learned recently, or at least I learned recently, that you can hear him pretty far outside of the house.
Yes, that's right. When we were walking to school the other day, he was just barking up a storm, because we left him. Sometimes when we go...
For 3 minutes?
Yeah. In the morning when I walked the little guy to his ride to school, he gets upset because normally when I go outside, even if it's just to get the mail or take out the trash, I take him out there with me. And it's, his favorite thing in the world is to go out and pee on the front yard. I don't understand that, but that's one of his joys in life. And he gets real upset when we don't take him. Are you doing any brass on the back section of the ship, or?
Nope. I don't even think there is that much.
Just some rails, I think.
The rails look wood.
Oh, okay. I actually wanted to break out some green ink to do those little flight stands or whatever, but I figured I'll wait till...
These 2?
Yeah, they're actually right here. There's actually 4 of them. They're kind of cool.
Oh.
But I that's an ink thing, so I'll wait till next weekend when we do the washes.
Sure.
And give you something else to do. Although, the way this guy speed paints, I probably won't get to it unless I start it first, which maybe I will just do that. Speaking of speed paints, it's February. I don't know if anybody has heard about the Army Painter speed paints, but if you've gotten them and you aren't, a content creator who's got them free in the mail, let us know what you think, because I am definitely going to be buying this set. I almost want to go and buy 2 sets just because, but I think, I'll just get the one and wait till they get to Miniature Market, and then I'll get the discount.
Also, speaking of speed paints, I'm finished with the brass.
Really?
Yeah. I think I've given it the 2 coats I wanted.
Okay, well, we can call it a night. It is a school night, and, I know the little guy's probably a little tuckered out from 2 hours of walking back and forth.
Walking.
Hey, I was getting pretty tired there, folks. I won't lie. I was, like I said,
we were just walking.
Yeah, but
It was on gravel, which made it slightly more difficult, but not that much.
I was telling my aunt about that. I didn't know that was the case. I thought it was just like dirt, because it's been so long since we've been there, and
Since you walked.
Well, since we've been to that swappy, And I
It's
told her
been, what, 12, 13, 8 years?
something like that, yeah. And so next time we go, I did wear my boots. I knew it was going to be, I should wear my boots instead of something else. But after about an hour, I started noticing, hey, this is a little bit of a workout there. And I don't know why. Remember when we saw the people watering the gravel?
Yeah?
Maybe you guys could answer that question. Why people would water the gravel around their stalls and their booths. I didn't understand that at all. Is it to get rid of the dust, or is it to, maybe provide some, moisture or something? Because it's like 40 degrees out for most of the morning, and it just didn't seem like, I just didn't understand it. But maybe it is to keep the dust down, because I remember the first time we went, there was like really strong winds, and it was really dusty, and that would drive me crazy if I went out to sell stuff there, and all my product, I had to clean them before I brought them out and clean them when I put them away. But enough of our rambling. Hope you guys have a great week. We will see you Tuesday with a pretty cool product review, and then the usual craft and book reviews and stuff like that for this week. But thanks for stopping by. Hope you guys have a great week, and we love you guys, and
Good night, bye.